Okay, hey everybody, how you doing? This is Ted. This is Saturday Night Live Weathering Extra Edition on a Friday night, coming to you on a Friday night. We are not live, so don't check the chat. This is a pre-recorded little demonstration here. This will go a lot faster than what we normally do on a Saturday night. But figured I want to show you some stuff I've been thinking about. And since we don't have a live broadcast this weekend on Saturday, I thought I'd give you a little something anyway by way of pre-recorded demo. So anyway, if you remember last week, and I don't have any beverages out in front of me today, I'm going to try and make this a little short and sweeter for you today. So we worked on this nickel plate car, all right? And remember, we're working on discovering and trying to figure out better ways to do a fade on the black. And I think it came out pretty good. And if you remember, we were using gray and white. All right, white being the opposite color of black. I mean, that's going to be the complementary color of black on a color wheel. In fact, it doesn't even show up on a color wheel. But we just know, white is the opposite of black. So it's going to be the complementary color for that. And I think the white and the gray came out pretty decent. And once we did our wash, and we did our, after the fade, we did the wash. We did a little bit of cement streaking on the car with the white oils, and we did our trucks and everything. I think the car came out pretty good. But I've still been trying to think about some better ways to do the fade. I think the white and the gray was a good way to go, but I'm going to explore another way to go tonight. One of the things that we talked about, and I got a lot of good feedback from everybody on Saturday, was about maybe trying some different colors. And JP, shout out to you, JP, suggested maybe like a dark green with the white and the gray. So I went ahead and did that while on a call with some of my modeling buddies that we have on Sunday nights. And I did that with this car here. All right, and I think, and I even discussed it with JP on in the comment section on one of my posts. I'm not sure I'm feeling this, all right? I could still see like a very light haze of green, even though I did most of, mostly gray and white, a little bit of hint of green. So maybe once wash went on and everything else, it might be okay. But I'm not 100% about this, and I'm not going to continue further. What I thought I would do was flip the car over and do the ends and stuff and work on something that I was thinking about, a different combination. One of the things I thought about maybe was trying blue. And if you remember way back when we did some of the black cars and engines and stuff that we've done in the past with the wash, it was blue for Panzer Gray. So it seems like blue is a little bit of a complementary for a gray car. I'm not so sure about black, but maybe with the blue and the gray and the white, maybe that would work. And as I was preparing for this tonight, I'm thinking about it, and I'm saying, I'm not sure I want to go that route. I'm not sure I want to try that. I'm thinking about revisiting something I used on a different car, and I think it was on the tank car. And that was this oil brusher. And this was the Starship Filth. Starship Filth, all right? Think about a filthy Dr. Spock and Dr. and Captain Kirk, Starship Filth. I digress. So, and if you look at it, I shook this one up, and this has got like a little bit of it's definitely got a gray tone to it, but a little bit of gray, a little bit of muddiness to it, maybe a very slight hint of brown. And I'm thinking about, let's revisit with this. So we're going to use this, and we're going to use the white, and we're going to work on this side of the car, and see how it comes out. So let's get started. I shook these two up ahead of time. And we're going to start with the Filth, Starship Filth. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with the 3-to-1 that we talked about the other night. 3-to-1s, we'll do 3 dots of Starship Filth to 1 dot of white. And we'll work that in and see how it works out. So let's give this a shot here. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12. 12 divided by 3 gives you 4. So it means we're going to go 4 dots of the white. And what we'll do is that we'll do that in the middle of every 3 dots. No rhyme or reason. I'm just making this up as I go along. But let's see. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Right there. All right, let's blend this in and see what happens. I got a feeling because it's got that little bit of brown in there, along with the gray and then the white to highlight it. I think this is going to work out better. Let's see if my my hunch is right. So let's go in like we normally do. We're going to take what we put on there. We're going to blend this in. And we're getting that Starship Filth from the top there. And we're blending in the white on that was just below it. Get across the whole car. Make sure we do some of the ladders. Everything else. Let me adjust my glasses here. And keep working it in. Now it's looking a little light with the white there. We'll give it a chance to work in with the Starship Filth. Rotate us around, make sure we get it on the ladders. Work it in, make sure we get the slope sheets. I always tend to forget about those sometimes. Get down in there. Get that all nice and even. We're going to go back with a dry brush. We're going to wipe this brush off. And let's get ourselves a dry brush. This is a good brush for dry. No, I think I use this brush for glue. In the past, it's a little stiff. So we'll go back with this one here. We'll use this one to brush more of this away. Blend that in. And see what happens. We'll finish up with a sponge. The sponge is going to make that all nice and smooth. You won't see no brush marks or anything there. All right, wipe this brush off. Let's go back with our sponge. This one was partially used. We'll go to a clean side and start wiping that down. Then we're going to compare it to the other side. All right, so the other side had the white, grain, and green. This has got the white and the Starship Filth. And we'll see if we like it and if we're going to continue on with that or not. So, okay. Put my glasses on, take a look at it close up. Show it to the camera. Let's look at the other side, compare it to the other side. Do we see a difference? I definitely see a difference. And like I said, over here, it might not show up on the camera, but I do see like a little bit of a green haze, all right? A green haze to that. So I think in the Starship Filth and the white is a better way to go. And you probably could even get away with just doing Starship Filth, but I want to lighten it up a little bit. That's why I put the white in there. And don't forget, when we put the wash on, the wash is going to darken it back up a little bit, along with the pigments for the dust and the grime. All right. All right. Let's go back to the other side. I'm going to see if I can fix this. This was the one I did during the week earlier this week. I'm going to go back with just some Starship Filth. It's already got white on there. It's already got some of the gray in there. We're just going to add a little bit of Starship Filth, not a lot of it. We're just going to go maybe across. We'll go 5 dots. Is that 5? No, I can't count, Ted. 6. 6 dots. All right. So let's go back with the original brush. This one here. We are going to work that in. And work that all over the car, including the slope sheets. Don't forget to do the top of the car too here. And there's a coal load that pops in and out of here. I didn't make this coal load. When I bought this car, it looks like somebody kind of did my method and added some coal to the top, or sand, or whatever they used. Still came out pretty good. I'm not going to change anything with it. I'm going to use it the way it is, so don't have to worry about the coal load tonight. Let's clean this brush off because it's starting to get all gunked up. Swirl it around. Whatever you got to do to get this all to blend together. All right, we'll put this brush aside after we clean it off. Let's go back with this brush, make sure it's clean. And again, we'll swirl around, whatever we got to do to get this to blend together. Really pressing down in there. Trying to clean that up. All right. Let's hit it with the sponge. Work that in there. Wipe away. And we'll see if that improved. It definitely got rid of some of the green hue. Wasn't happy about that. I didn't like that. So outside of hitting it with thinner and stripping it down and redoing it, I think we were able to fix it with the Starship Filth. Make sure these markings down here are clear or semi-clear. You still want to be able to read them. Clean off the emblem a little bit. Love that Lucky Stripe emblem on the L&E cars. There we go. All right. Let's give it a look. So we got this side. Clean in here a little bit. Compared to this side, I think I'm seeing an improvement. Sometimes it's hard to see with this extra light here. Let's see if we can move that out a little bit. All right. This side. This side. Okay. All right. So I'm leaning towards Starship Filth and the white. I didn't experiment with the blue. That'll be on another car some other day maybe. But I kind of like how this is working out. And if this is satisfactory when I'm done with this car, I think what I'll do is I'll adopt this as how I'll do a fade on the black car from now on. All right. All right, so let's do the ends. Let's do the ends. We'll do the ends like we normally do. We'll start with the Starship Filth. Put it someplace so I don't knock it over. And we will do 3 dots. Maybe 5. I'll go 5. All right. Because we still got to get in the slope. And you can see, normally what I do with these cars is that metal weight there. I would paint that. And it looks like this is a used car. I bought this car used. I took it out of one of my travel boxes, and I know I bought it at a show someplace. So it looks like they tried to paint that. And it's like a gray. Normally what I would do is before I install those in, I would have painted those. If I was building the car myself, I would have painted those black and then just faded them out from there. But neither here nor there. You know, it's already done, so I'm not going to mess with this car too much. This will be a runner on the layout. The Ironton layout. I was watching a video today, actually. It was one of the Dave Petrula videos with Big Mike giving a narrative, his colloquial narrative, whatever he says. And they deliver a lot of coal cars to the cement plants. Cement plants went through a lot of coal. I think one train they showed in the video which is one of the Baldwin switchers, switching 51 cars. You know, not counting the caboose. And a big bunch of them on the back was coal. And you have to deliver the coal cars first. And then go and deliver or do switching out of the cement hoppers. So that was an interesting little tidbit that I didn't know. I'm always trying to learn more about how the prototype operated. And just a reminder for those of you who might be new here, you say, I'm always doing Penn Central stuff. What am I talking about? The Ironton. Penn Central is my stuff I like to do for model building, to get my my kit bash and model building detailing fix in with. The Ironton is my small little switching layout based on the Ironton Railroad in around the Allentown area, cement district. They interchange with the CNJ and the Lehigh Valley in Beery Yard. With the L&E, they interchanged with the Reading. And they were a subsidiary, half owned by Lehigh Valley, half owned by the Reading. And you could tell the lineage because the engines were painted in the Reading green. And everything's the same as the Reading engines except it says Ironton, not Reading. They had hand-me-down cabooses from both the Reading and the Lehigh Valley. And I do have two cabooses. One was an ex-Lehigh Valley, and one was an ex-Reading. Ex-Reading is a Northeast style caboose that was built in the Reading shops. And the Lehigh Valley was an old wooden Lehigh Valley cupola caboose. So those are the two cabooses I'm going to run during op sessions. So, all right, so let's clean the brush off. Let's get the other brush in there. Try to get some of that excess away from there. We will go in with a little micro sponge, or those little eyelid, what do they call those things? I wish I had my wife over here. She would tell me. The eyelid brushes that they use for eyeshadow. Eyeshadow brush, is that what it's called? Eyeshadow brush. All right, let's go in with our big sponge. Wipe away some of the excess there. On the other side, wipe what we can with the big sponge, the excess, and then we'll go in with one of the smaller sponges. All right, let me get the small sponge now. There we go. One of these. And this way we can get into the smaller areas. And you can see where it's wiping right away, right there. Perfect, that's what I'm looking for. Awesome. Now I kind of wish I did bring a beer down here. I'm getting a little parched, but that's all right. Okay, got this. Got in between here a little bit. Don't have to take too much away. Let's give a look. All right, so go all the way around. We had the side that we fixed up with the Starship Filth over that green that I used. Wasn't too crazy about the green. And we have this side that we started tonight, the two ends. I'm not going to do nothing with the inside tonight. All right. Looks like there's some, looks like they do what I did. Put some weights in, painted the weights up so it matches the inside. A little bit of coal dust on there. But I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the inside yet. That'll be another day. All right, so we're going to go back. And we're going to break out our wash. All right, so we're going to go with, let's see, what did we use the other night? I think we used the, did we use the neutral wash? No, we didn't use the neutral wash the other night. We used, I think we used the interior wash, didn't we? I have to go back and look at the thing, but it's all right. Either the interior wash or we're going to use, I want to use Starship wash because Starship wash is the same as the Starship Filth, and I want to have a little bit more of a contrast from what we used. So let's see. All right, so we're going to go with this. we're going to go with the interiors wash. I think that's what we used the other night. So let's shake this up. And you can see we're not editing this or anything. This is a one-shot take all the way through. Kind of like how we do the live show. So we're just doing everything on the fly tonight. And just gives a little bit more of a shake, maybe a little bit more on the vortex spinner. In the meantime, while we're shaking this up, just to remind you, we are supported by Around the Layout Podcast. So please go to aroundthelayoutpodcast.com. Check out what's going on. If you feel so inclined, join the operating crew for $3 a month. Best $3 a month you'll ever spend. Best $3 a month you can spend in a hobby. And also, we're still always brought to you by Unleaded Beverage Company. All your non-alcoholic beverage needs in one spot. Don't forget Cousin Teddy at checkout. Get you 10% off. All right, let's get this interior wash on there. And you can see that's kind of like a grayish, muddy gray. Even more muddy gray than the Starship Filth. So, all right, let's knock out the excess out of there. And we're going to go light with this. Let's see, let's get another brush here. Let's use this guy right here. We're going to dab our brush in there, and we're going to go across the top and let that work its way down. Put a little bit in into the rivets. Let that settle in there. Bring down some random strokes. Remember, we are simulating rain is washing the soot off the top of cars, or in this case, it's going to wash some of the coal dust down the side of cars. All right. So that's what we're doing with this interior wash. Let's wipe that off. Get the brush nice and dry. Go back and just lightly blend that in. Get some on the slope sheet there. Let's go to the other side, do the same thing. So we want to let this set up and get tacky a little bit, as always. That's what's going to hold the pigment onto the side of the car. Same thing, let's draw it across the top. Bring some down along the rivets. All right, wipe the brush off. Really good. Go back and bring some down and on the slope sheet. All right. So do the same thing on the ends. You can get a little bit across the top on the ends. Bring some down. Do the other side. Get some in there. Ladders. Sides. Get some in the slope sheet. If we can reach in there, it's going to be hard to reach in there. So we will leave it at the way it is. Mainly, it's again, tonight's an experiment to see if we can come up with a better fade on black. Like I said, the white and the gray worked good the other night, along with the color combinations of the wash and the pigments. We're going to see what happens tonight with this Starship wash. I mean, the Starship Filth, and then the interiors wash. Okay, let's see. Let's get a clean, dry brush. Get one of these poofy ones. Very lightly. Blend that in a little bit again. Let's go around the car, do the same thing. Working our way around the car. That's just taking some of the wash away and helping it dry up a little faster. Now, the last thing we want to do before it gets a little drier, we want to still have a little bit tacky, but we do want to wipe some of this away because you can see there's some brush strokes don't want to have brush strokes on there. So we're going to very lightly take the sponge and wipe down just to get rid of those brush marks. That's also going to help it dry faster. All right. Let's switch sides. Always try to get a clean part of the sponge. Okay. Let's do the same thing on this side. Very lightly. Wipe some of that wash away. Go to another clean side. Sometimes you want to even just kind of dab it a little bit instead of wiping. Okay. Same thing on the ends. And just dab it. Get that end. And the last end right here. Let's get in there with the point of the sponge a little bit. Yeah, we're ready for our dirt. So once again, what we like to use for our pigment, we like to use dark earth, which is this little lighter shade of earth, and Russian earth. All right. And I like to have a mixture of that a lot of times because I want to have a little variation, you know. Sometimes you're going to get a little bit of light with the dark. So let's put some of this Russian earth in here. I'll show you guys the bottles. There's Russian earth. And let's see. Do I have the dark earth readily available? Let's see. Here we go, dark earth. So these are the two pigments we use tonight, all right? Okay, we are going to go back with, see, I want to get a more rounded brush here. Let's get this guy right here. No, that's not round. This guy, nope, he's a little frayed at the edges. Gotta get some more new brushes out and start retiring some of these other ones. All right, we're going to use this brush here. And like we normally do, we are going to dip, put some down on the bottom, and then across the bottom. Just dip in the other color, give a little variation. And remember, always kick it up on the ends a little bit, all right? Train's traveling down the track like this, and is creating like a vortex wind, kind of spins around, and it's going to kick the dust off of the roadbed. All right, I can just shoot a little bit up the side of the car, like that. Blow off the excess, and we can always go back, and if you think you got too much, take some away. All right. Same thing on the other side. We're going to take our round brush. We'll start with the lighter stuff this time. Get some down there randomly, some over here. Over here. Kick it up on the ends a little bit. Knock some off. Draw some up the side. Blow off the excess. Maybe hit it with the sponge just a little bit. Just knock some of it away. Same thing on the ends. A little bit across the top there, along the bottom. The end of the car is going to be a little bit more grimed up because all the dust getting kicked up from the car in front or the car behind, depending on which way direction that this is going in, down the track. That went a little too much there. Knock some of that off. And again, if you feel like you got too much, you could take some away. And worst comes to worst, if you are totally unhappy with the car, you can get some thinner, even at this late stage, and wipe a lot of it away with the thinner. All right. I think it's okay. I like it. Car looks like it's been out on the road for a while. These cars do get really filthy because they're in and out of the mines, by the breakers, picking up loads, dropping loads. So they are not the cleanest cars. Just wipe a little away. Okay. Same thing here. Just get some of the excess off there. Let's take a look at it. All right. So that's with our fade, our wash, our grime. All right. Now I did do the wheel sets. I was trying something out. Again, another conversation with JP the other night. He prefers the darker rust on the wheels, so I put some dark rust on these, or a darker wheel. And it didn't have to be rust. A lot of times it was like a grayish black because these journal boxes were friction bearings, and there was grease that were put into them, so I guess that would throw the grease onto the wheel faces. I tend to like rusty wheels. It's just a preference of mine. And maybe it's not the most prototypical thing, but this is a darker version of that. This was done with the dark rust chipping fluid, the Ammo Atom. I'll pull that out and I'll show you what that looks like. It was done with this acrylic, so it's called chipping. It's the Ammo Atom line, all right? You can also get this Atom line with the old rust, which is, I think this is the replacement for the other line of acrylics. This is the Atom lines are what they're using now in acrylics. So either the chipping of a darker rust, or if you do the old rust for a lighter rust. And it's really not that much lighter of a rust. So anyway, so let's do our side frames since we didn't do those yet, and then we'll call this I'm done. Let's see. Let's get our cursed soil. Let's get this all vortex spinned up. Oh, I killed my sponsor tag here. Also, too, make sure you check out Steve. He's going to be on tomorrow night. Well, actually, when you see this, it'll be Saturday night, so he'll be on every Saturday from 7:30 until whenever he's done. He doesn't have to bang up so soon. Normally, he tries to bang up by 9 o'clock, so when I'm ready to go. But check out Steve Ironwood Railroad on the Pine live Saturday night, 7:30. So check that out. All right, so let's get a little bit of this cursed soil into the tray. We will do up our wheels. We did the other night. We did with the rust. In fact, where's the car? We used like a rust brown, and that came out pretty good. I'll do this with the cursed, and we'll hold both cars together, and we'll see which one looks better. All right. This is my old tried and true, using the cursed soil. So let's decant some of this out here. Put that there. Make sure this brush is clean. Put some on the brush, dab a lot of it off, and go in. It's not quite like dry brushing, but you're not soaking it either. You just want to just dab it onto the truck. You want it a little loose so it gets into the crannies and nooks and stuff, but you don't want it drowning. So we'll do that side, we'll do this side, same thing. Just enough paint on the brush to get it on the truck, and we want the paint there to have the pigment adhere to, if that makes sense. Am I using proper English tonight? I don't know. Okay. So we got our cursed soil on there. That's our background color. We're going to go in with a dry. Is this one dry? That's dry, yeah. And we're going to put some of our pigment on it. We're just going to dab it on there. Kind of like how we dab the paint on there. Same thing over here. And again, we're doing this for texture. It's going to give it the color that we're looking for, a little bit of highlight underneath it, and the texture we're looking for. Because the trucks always look rough in real life. They're not smoothly painted. Blow out the excess. I can still see a little. I can still see a little bit of paint there, so we are going to go and dab a little bit more on there. We're going to knock out some of the excess too. You can see our truck is done. Let's give it a little bit of rust, a tiny bit of rust. Just a little dab. In the springs, maybe. Maybe a little on top too. Blow off the excess. What went flying? All right. Get the brush back in there again, clean out just a little bit. There you go. Let's do the other side. Same thing. We're going to go in with our cursed soil. And we dab the brush and paint, a lot of the paint off. Go in and just push it in. So we're not flooding it with paint, but we are covering the whole truck. One dab should do both trucks. Or both side frames. So. Okay. Go back with our brush that we're using for the pigments. Get some of that Russian earth in there, maybe a little mixture of the Russian earth and the dark earth. Same thing on this one. Push it in there. Knock off the excess. You see a little bit on the bottom here. Let's get on the side frame on the bottom a little bit. There, let's knock some of the excess out of there. Go back with a little bit of the rust. A little bit more rust. Okay. Got a little finger smudge on there. We'll get that cleaned off. So a little bit more out of the springs there. All right. Car's done. So we spent about 40 minutes. Basically did the whole car because we went over and did that other side again over again. Let me see. Let me just clean this out a little bit more in here. There we go. A little too much built up in there. So we did our side frames. I did the wheels the other day. So we're not going to do them tonight. Clean this out a little bit. This car once over. That's one side. You can see it. And other side. And inside we're not going to do nothing wet. All right, so how do I feel about this? How do I feel about the using the Starship with the white? Again, I think it's a mixed result. You know, the other night we did our gray and white. So gray was a little bit lighter in color than this Starship Starship Filth. Maybe I can hold both cars up at the same time. Let me get a little bit more rust in the springs on this car. I might have to clean some of that out. But you can see the difference between the two, all right? I think the nickel plate, well, also too, it's got the white streaks from the, to represent the cement dust. So I'm thinking I still like the nickel plate version a little bit better. But again, this is another color combination maybe to try. We used our Starship Filth and the white as opposed to the gray. I think I might stick with the gray and white, to be honest with you. I mean, this is not bad. It serves the purpose. It does look like it's been used. It's been out in the field for a while. Once again, like I said, we will look this over in a day or two. Make sure we're still happy with it. Always look at your work afterwards. Walk away for a little while, come back. If there's anything you want to fix on it, you fix it. I've done that in the past on some of the models. But I think this one's not bad, all right? Not bad. I think I might have to touch out the wheels a little bit with rust, but we'll do that in some free time during the week. Otherwise, this is done. All right, guys, appreciate it. I hope you didn't mind having this as a fill-in for Saturday night. Don't forget, next week we'll be back at a regular time, 9 o'clock, most Saturday nights, as long as I don't have anything going on personally. This week I do have a family gathering, so that's why I'm not going to be here. But this video will be going up at 9 o'clock on Saturday night, so we are kind of together anyway, even though we're not together live. Anyway, guys, I appreciate the support that you give me. I appreciate that you subscribers. If you're not a subscriber, please like and subscribe, and we'll catch you next Saturday night on Saturday Night Live. Bye-bye.